Thank you, Chairman. In 2023, the Drug Enforcement Administration seized more fentanyl in a single year than ever before. In fact, the DEA seized more than 77 million pills of fentanyl and nearly 12,000 pounds of fentanyl powder, enough to kill 386 million people, or more than the entire population of the United States. Tragically, more than 112,000 Americans died from drug overdoses in 2023, and 70% of those deaths were caused by fentanyl poisoning. It's heartbreaking that fentanyl poisonings are the leading cause of death for Americans between the ages of 18 and 45, but we can and will continue to work to reverse this. I'm thankful this committee is marking up my important bipartisan legislation to help U.S. law enforcement detect and interdict deadly fentanyl throughout our great nation. Congress must support our law enforcement officers and utilize every tool at our disposal to combat fentanyl trafficking, production, and distribution to save American lives. That's why I'm proud that the committee is considering my bipartisan bill, the Detect Fentanyl and Xylazine Act of 2024. This legislation would give the Department of Homeland Security Science and Technology Directorate, or S&T, statutory authority to conduct research, development, testing, and evaluation to improve the technologies used by federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial law enforcement agencies. This legislation will also improve drug detection accuracy and the disruption of drug trafficking for drugs like fentanyl and xylazine through research, development, testing, evaluation, and cost-benefit analysis for portable equipment that can detect and identify drugs with minimal or no handling of the sample. S&T will be able to develop the equipment that can separate complex mixtures containing low concentrations of drugs and high concentrations of cutting agents for field identification and detection technologies that use machine learning, or AI, to predict whether substances are controlled or new psychoactive substances not yet included in available reference libraries. It only takes trace amounts of fentanyl to be deadly. It is imperative that we equip U.S. law enforcement agencies at every level with every tool available to protect their communities and remove this deadly drug from their streets. By giving S&T the authority to improve the efficiency of the equipment and reference libraries used by federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial law enforcement agencies, we can improve the detection of fentanyl, xylazine, and other deadly drugs and disrupt trafficking rings. I want to quickly thank the law enforcement organizations that have supported and endorsed this important piece of legislation, namely the National Association of Police Organizations, Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association, Sergeant Benevolence Associations of the NYPD, National Border Patrol Council, National Treasury Employees Union, National Narcotic Officers Associations Coalition, Shatterproof, National HIDTA Directors Association, and National Association of Counties. I also want to thank Senator Cornyn and his staff for collaborating on introducing this bipartisan bill in both chambers. I also want to thank my friend and colleague from the side of the aisle, Mr. Crea of California, for joining me in introducing this incredibly important and bipartisan bill in the House. I appreciate his support, and I urge all of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to support this legislation to make fighting fentanyl and saving American lives a priority. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.